Hi, this is Randy Jeffers, and this is a very special pleasure to have with us today Mr. Chuck Dalby. Well, welcome, Chuck.
Thanks.
These are exciting times for you. I know you and your family are getting ready to embark on just an incredible experience. You're leaving for 1 year to Chiang Mai, Thailand, and tell us a little bit about yourself for those that don't know you.
Well, I am a father of 4 boys, been married for about 15 years, self-employed for most of my life, and recently was working for a company, and just a time in our life when we found that we were able to take a year off and go serve and do something a little different.
Well, that is really spectacular. You know, I know you from our church. We go to the same church, and that's where we met you. And I know that your walk with Christ is very important. Tell us a little bit about that and how that plays into your family and into the big decision that you've made.
Yeah, we my wife kind of brought it to my attention, something she had read, and it had talked about missions, and it just said that if you're not involved in a missionary's life or as a missionary, then you're probably not following the Great Commission. And it just kind of hit me that we weren't doing a whole lot in that aspect. And when I read further, it talked about how if you've ever had a calling on your life, or you've ever had the desire, that was probably planted by God and given it to you that way. And I have definitely always had a heart for orphans and kids and wanted to do something like that. It's just, how do you pack up a family of 6 and, leave your job and everything and go do that? And, we just prayed about it, and God opened doors, and things just happened, and, we stepped out in faith and started getting rid of stuff and got out of our house, and here we are. We're leaving in less than 30 days.
Well, it's a huge undertaking, certainly, but what a wonderful experience. I just can't wait to see what you're going to say, a year from now, and the stories that you're going to have, and how your kids' lives have changed, and how you and your wife's lives have changed because of this experience, and more importantly, how some of the kids over in Thailand, how their lives will have changed because of your decision that you're making right now. Now, I know you've been involved with Liberty Kidz. You have helped us pretty much from the beginning, and we're a small organization, and of course, one of the things that we're very proud of is that every dollar that has come in has gone to the cause, to the kids. Yeah. And there's no admin costs, and so everything that's been done has been by volunteers. And of course, you stepped in to volunteer and have served as the director. And of course, you've been very busy, but tell us a little bit about some of the things that you expect to be able to accomplish now that you have a little more time and will actually be on the ground there.
Yeah, well, when we kind of decided to embark on this, we felt called to go by God, and we definitely have seen confirmation through everything that's happened. And we didn't have a whole lot of expectations other than we know that God's going to lead us when we get there. As we've been looking, we've got some ideas of how we can help raise some funds and create a bridge of a network of people here that want to get involved and help out, and create relationships between the children and families here that span that divide, and that my wife and my kids, we would kind of step into that void and fill that void, so that it would allow people here to really build a genuine relationship with the kids there, and help the kids build self-esteem and knowing that they have people here that care about them, that are supporting them. And through our Vacations with a Purpose program, it allows people to take their whole family and come visit us in Chiang Mai and spend time with their kids that they've sponsored, and have a vacation that probably would be one of the most memorable times of their lives.
Yes.
So that's just one of the things we're going to do. We're going to be teaching some English. We've been asked if we could teach English to the village, because it's kind of an outreach, so we're going to look at that. We've got several projects we're trying to do at the orphanage. We're looking at possibly building a school and another dorm, and so as these things come up, we're going to get involved in helping in any way we can. Again, my wife and I just decided we wanted to serve, and when we get there, we're going to look and see what the needs are, and wherever they need us, if it's doing laundry or making meals, that's what we're going to do.
Yes, well, you've been a very successful businessman in the past, and have had a lot of success in your life, and this is a real switchover, isn't it? To really just sort of humble yourself, and to be a servant,
Yeah.
and follow God's plan for your life. And I know I heard something recently that you had said to someone about why you were going and some of the things you wanted to accomplish. Do you remember what we're talking about? Because I just think that just would bless so many people to hear these words.
Well, in our society, it's really difficult to get a vision of what you want for your children, and how you want to raise your children, and what you want to teach them. And we're so busy in life, and it's not that I'm trying to run away or anything, but the director there is just a godly man. He's got two sons. They're both out of school, and they both followed in the Lord. And I want that for my boys more than anything. But it's difficult here. I mean, we've got so many distractions. The video games and the friends and the movies and everything else that I sometimes think we're lost. And we think of other people being lost, but over there, you're stripped down to the basics of life. And I think my boys are going to really grow, as well as my wife and I think it'll allow us to really serve God and to understand His call in our lives and what it really means. And I told the director there, Nippon, that I just want to go and learn from him, not just what he does with the orphanage, but how he's been such a successful father. And that's important to me. We only have our kids for a short time, and that may sound selfish, that we're not going there all for the orphanage, but it's one of those reasons that we're going, because we really want to use this time in our kids' lives to grow them closer to God and to bring them up in that way.
Well, I know you've been to the orphanage, Chuck, and you actually were there at the same time that we were there, and so you've experienced building relationships with the children. I know that some of them that you even thought about trying to bring them over here and let them have a little taste of our life. But tell us a little bit about some of those experiences when you first went there, and really what those relationships mean to you.
Well, there's definitely a language barrier, but when you first get there, it's a little bit of a culture shock. But the kids are they're just grateful to have anyone give them attention. And, I bonded really quickly with some of the older boys, and, they just don't have a lot of male companions that they can look up to and that can speak into their lives. And, you love on the kids, you play soccer with them, and you do fun things with them, and you running with some of the kids, and the little girls just love to play little games. And you get down to the basics of relationships, and you just realize how fulfilling that is, and how much value that has, more than accumulating things and the next boat or whatever you're going to buy. And it's those things are fun, but it's just can be a distraction of what really matters. And when you look at God's economy, those souls are what's important to Him. That investment of time that I was there may not have seemed like I accomplished a lot, but in His eyes, I know that that's what He really values. So, like I said, 2 weeks there was life-changing.
Well, I can't imagine how life-changing it's going to be after 1 year.
Yeah.
My goodness, what a wonderful investment in the future of your family and in the future of those children. And as I mentioned, I just can't wait to see what's going to transpire and everyone's lives and in incredibly positive ways. Well, Chuck, I know you have been very active in our church, active in the men's organization, and you have a lot of skills that have been developed along those lines that certainly will become useful over there. Any words of wisdom to someone that's out there, maybe that's contemplating making a change in their life? Maybe they've been thinking, well, I'd like to do something like that. Maybe God's got a little tug on my heart, and maybe I want to go, but I'm a little bit afraid. I don't know exactly what I should do. Any words for those guys?
Well, over the last few months when we decided to do this, I really realized that God isn't going to tell you so much what to do as much as He wants you to step out and once you step out, God will meet you there and He'll show you the next step. It's one of the reasons, like I said, we don't set any plans in stone of what we're doing when we get there, because we know God's called us to go there, and He'll show us and reveal to us what the needs are and where He wants us to go and do next. And it's easy to make plans, but the plans of men are foolish, and so we have to follow God. And so follow what we're doing, and if you've got an itch in your heart, or you've had that desire or that longing, or make a step to do it. Make it a point to do it. God will make it happen. I mean, you may think, oh, I can't afford it, or I can't take the time off, or whatever, but if it's His will, pray about it, and you'd be amazed at how quickly He can change your life when you're ready.
Yes, absolutely. Well, one of the things that we want everyone out there to know is that, as we mentioned, when donations come into the organization, to the Liberty Kidz organization, that all goes to support the kids directly. And so, in your case, as a missionary now, as you're going, you've had to raise your own funds, right? And you've asked God for some help.